Well, good day and welcome to another Spotlight series sponsored on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Black Male Engagement. My name is Jack Drummond, and a Spotlight series is where we highlight the great contributions of melanin-enriched men who are in the city of Philadelphia. Today's Spotlight is on Mr. Eric Nzeribe from Fun Times Magazine. We're going to ask him a few questions, primarily who he is, what he does, and how does what he do impact men and boys of color around the city. So, welcome. How you doing, Mr. Eric?
Thank you very much, Jack.
All right.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
If you wouldn't mind just starting off and telling us a little bit about who you are.
Thank you, Jack, once more. It is a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Eric Nzeribe, as you have observed, and I publish Fun Times Magazine. Fun Times Magazine is a magazine that is targeted to African and Caribbean community in the Mid-Atlantic region.
Okay. Any specific reason why that particular target? I'm just asking.
Well, we don't have a platform. We don't have a forum. So this is specifically for this niche population.
Absolutely.
Yes, we want to talk things that are positive about our community.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So tell us, you said your magazine is called Fun Times.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got the title Fun Times and what's that about?
So Fun Times Magazine started in Monrovia, Liberia. That was during the crisis in Liberia, 1992. We had a lot of newspapers then in Liberia, but as all newspapers, they were focused on the violence, the poverty, the deprivation, the hunger that are all parts of a civil crisis or a war. But we thought that at the end of all those crises, there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. So we decided to find something to cheer people up. And that was how we came up with the name Fun Times.
Got it.
So that we had a slogan then that if you get the magazine and you read it and you don't laugh, we refund your money. So that was how Fun Times Magazine was born.
I like that. It's sort of a positive spin on changing the narrative about some of the negative things that have been going on.
Exactly.
Since you mentioned some of the things that have happened in Liberia, do you see a parallel between some of the deprivation and the poverty that folks suffer over there than folks suffer over here as well?
Well, not directly in terms of civil crisis, but when people come here, we started in the adjustment that people go through here, the crisis of identity. So to some extent, you have emotional struggles, you have both physical, trying to adjust, the acculturation issues. And then we felt that the average person, probably immigrant or black person, we go to club on a Saturday, we go to church on Sunday, we go to work on Monday.
Right.
It's the same person. So we play as hard as we work as hard. So it's finding fun in whatever we do.
Absolutely.
So that is why or how the name is still very relevant.
Yeah, it's a fun name, Fun Times. Yeah, absolutely. So with that in mind, I've read a few of your publications. They're very nice. You are known really for putting a lot of people on in the city, if you will, really giving folks an opportunity to be highlighted as resources. How do you attract your population? Are there certain types of titles that you go after, or is this throughout your communication in and throughout the entire city?
So Fun Times Magazine, as you've seen, what we do is, again, to accentuate the positive in our community. And the community includes African American, African, and the Caribbean. You see, one thing is important, like you say, melanin-enhanced people. We have a lot of things in common than the things we have that divide us.
Absolutely.
But people choose to highlight the things that are not common rather than the common denominators.
Got it.
So Fun Times Magazine is a platform where we try to bring every person to the table. We try to be a conduit of information to the larger population.
Absolutely.
We want to give every person a sense of belonging. highlight some of their resources, spotlight some of the success stories, the role models in the community, those things that have worked, and then see whether people can look up to those things and emulate those things so that we can have a situation where people replicate success.
Absolutely.
That's why we have, and we still stick to fun times, because we think that we should dwell on positive things and leave negative. Let the newspapers carry the negative things.
Absolutely.
We have enough of those.
Absolutely. Trust me, we can have another show about that, right? I really enjoy the fact that it is promoting solidarity and networking with folks who are similar, these particular demographics. And we do say melanin enriched because if you're able to produce melanin in your melanocytes, right, then you are a person who is melanin enriched, right? From mahogany to chestnut, black, brown, and everything in between, right?
Right.
So thank you for that. How does what you do impact men and boys of color in the city?
Well, again, we're thinking that if you show enough role models, I'll give you an example. A lot of people, when Allen Iverson was playing basketball, they want to identify with him. They want to be the next Allen Iverson.
You see people with the braids and
right. So, but how many people can play at that level, professional level?
Right.
So it's difficult to get to that level of a basketball player. But it is easier to identify with somebody who is working with the city, making $40,000-$50,000. You can support your family. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we try to create opportunities where we diversify possible or potential role models.
Reachable role models.
Right.
Something
that within you can achieve in your lifetime. Do you know that at one point we went through a statistics? It's easier to become a medical doctor than to become a professional NBA player.
Wow.
Because check how many persons are professional NBA players and check how many persons are medical doctors.
Absolutely.
So it may look daunting in terms of academics, but you can actually become a medical doctor easier than you can become a professional basketballer or even footballer. So to that extent, the more you highlight or spotlight some of these success stories, people that are doing legitimate businesses that can feed their families, send their children to school, put a roof over your head, it's easier to replicate these successes in the community. That's why we choose to do what we do. And we think that people should emulate, people should look, how did you do it? How is it that you, Jack, you're a professor at the university, you work at the city hall, how do you get time to do all this? I do it this way, I do it that way. And then they can look up to you.
I like that, right? So we really thank you for all that you do. And I just had one more question. The final question just revolves around any bits of advice for folks who are watching, whether they are men and boys of color in the city or anyone who is watching. Is there some advice that you could give to men and boys of color in the city?
Well, the major issue is education. It may sound cliche, but we can't overemphasize it, because the more educated, even the little education you get can inform your living conditions.
True.
What you can accept as a living minimum. If what you could eat, your nutritional value. Not to talk about having a job, putting bread on the table, and all the rest of them. So education cuts through every facet of somebody's life.
Absolutely.
What you dress. Will you dress with your pants hanging down? It's a common education will let you know that, this is not where I need to go. How you address people. Some of the stereotypes you have in life and all the rest of them. A little education will let you know that, I'm misinformed in this. So we can't overemphasize education. And when we say, the generality of it, not just putting bread on, of course, it's good to go through college.
Sure.
But college may not be for every person. So you can go to a trade school. You could learn a craft. You could do some type of apprenticeship. So we have so much that if you can just have a little structure in place, and go through some type of process, you will be on your way to becoming a success. I mean,
Got it.
success may not be being Bill Gates or the next Apple owner, but at least feed your family, stay away from troubles,
Right.
and not be another statistic. You know,
And being the best
when
that you could possibly be. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. Education is definitely the key, and we really appreciate you, and we thank you for all that you've done, especially for the office and mostly for the city at large. So thank you very much, Eric.
I really
All right.
appreciate being on this.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
All
Okay,
right.
my dear.
Join us for another spotlight very soon. So once again, signing off, Jack Drummond, Director of the Office of Black Male Engagement, and we thank you.